My beloved child, quiet your heart and listen to my voice, gently calling your name in these new days. There were nights when you thought your soul was covered by dark clouds, when it seemed every prayer dissolved into silent emptiness. Yet even in those moments, my hand never left you. I stood before storms you could not see, silently making a way through crossroads that appeared to have no path left. And now, I want you to lift your head and walk forward. For the season of darkness is no longer where you belong. I am leading you into a land of restoration, where your heart will no longer be chained by fear or disappointment. As I declared in Isaiah 40:19, behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Do not believe that your life is only a series of days meant to be endured. No, you have been called to witness the light after seasons that once felt endless, to touch a peace the world can neither give nor take away. I know there were times when you looked at yourself through eyes filled with doubt, wondering whether you still had the strength to continue. But my child, what I placed within you has never been lost. The trials you have walked through did not diminish your worth. They are stripping away the old layers so that the true beauty I created may be revealed. Gold must pass through fire to become pure, and your faith is being refined into something more precious than perishable gold. Do not let the voice of anxiety tell you a false story about your future. I have never written your life with the ink of despair. I am writing it with grace, with mercy, with new beginnings you never imagined you were worthy to receive. When you choose to trust me in the midst of uncertainty, you are placing the steering wheel of your life into the hands of the one who sees from beginning to end. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. As written in Proverbs 3:5, there are doors I have closed not to reject you, but to protect you from paths that would have drained your soul. And one day you will look back and understand that not a single tear you cried was meaningless. I have used even the things that wounded you to form compassion, gentleness, and strength within you. Many desire to see victory without walking through the journey of transformation. But you have endured long seasons of testing, and they are building within you a foundation that cannot be shaken. You are no longer the old person walking in chains of shame and insecurity. I am teaching you to stand upright in the identity I have given you. You are a beloved child, not someone forgotten in the currents of life. When the world tries to force your head down beneath pressure, I place my hand beneath your chin and lift your face again, so you will remember that my light is still with you. Remember Gideon, who once hid himself in fear and believed he was too small to be used for something great. When I called him a mighty warrior, he could hardly believe he could become such a person. But I did not look at him through the lens of his present limitations. I saw the man I had destined him to become long before, and that is how I see you as well. Perhaps today you still feel fragile. Perhaps your heart does not yet feel fully strong, but I see a light within you that is steadily growing brighter through little acts of obedience. Gideon overcame an army far greater than his own, and in doing so, he learned that victory does not come from human strength, but from the power of the one who walks beside them. In the same way, your victory does not depend on whether you are skilled enough or perfect enough. It rests in the fact that you are walking with me. So do not keep imprisoning your mind within old memories of failure. Do not allow the words that once wounded you to become the voice that governs your future. I did not create you to live beneath the shadow of your past. I am calling you into freedom. When I open your eyes, you will see how many good things are still waiting ahead of you. There are blessings already on their way to you that you have not yet even recognized. But first, I want your soul to learn how to rest in me instead of trembling endlessly before tomorrow. Matthew 11:28 declares, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." I do not want you merely to survive your days. I want you to truly live, to truly breathe in peace and hope. Even now, I am removing from your shoulders invisible burdens you have carried for far too long. There are fears that have clung to you so tightly that you began to believe they were part of who you are. But I tell you this, you do not belong to fear. You belong to the light. You belong to love. You belong to me. And wherever my perfect love dwells, darkness must retreat. Let your soul open like a field, receiving the first rain of the season, allowing my words to soak into every dry place within you. Do not reject joy simply because you have grown accustomed to living in anxiety. I am teaching you a new way of living to live, as one who knows they are being held by everlasting hands. So today, move forward with a heart full of hope. Let your eyes look toward the future, no longer with confusion, but with holy expectation. I have already gone before you. I have prepared things you cannot yet see. The days ahead are no longer copies of the old days behind you. A new season is unfolding, and within that season, you will understand that I have never left you, not even for a single moment. When you are weak, I still carried you. When you were weary, I remained the strength that renewed your soul. And when you believed, only a tiny flicker of light remained within you. I still saw a flame bright enough to illuminate the lives of many others. Keep walking, my beloved, for I am with you every step of the way. And those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall soar on wings like eagles, as written in Isaiah 49:31. My beloved child, there were moments when you believed peace could only come once. Every storm around you had calmed. Once every door had opened according to your expectations. Once every question in your heart had been fully answered. But I want you to understand something deeper. True peace is not born from favorable circumstances, but from the assurance within your soul that I am still present, even in days when you cannot yet see the outcome. Even while you stand in the in-between season of waiting and hoping, I am placing within your heart a river of rest that will never run dry. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives, as spoken in John 14:27. The peace I give does not tremble with the shifting of the world. It stands firm like a mountain founded upon eternal rock. Therefore, you do not need to live in constant tension, struggling to hold everything together. I have never asked you to carry your entire life by your own strength. The only thing I desire from you is a heart that knows how to abide in me, so that while everything around you is still moving, your soul may continue to breathe gently in trust. Look at the vast sea at dawn. Though powerful currents still move beneath the surface, the waters above continue to reflect the sky with quiet stillness. Your soul is the same. Perhaps there are still unfinished matters around you. Doors not yet opened, prayers not yet fully formed. But I am teaching you to live by assurance instead of fear. You have not been abandoned in this journey. The silence you are sensing is not an empty void. It is the sign that my hand is quietly arranging every detail. Ecclesiastes 3:11 declares, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. Nothing arrives earlier than my wisdom intends, and nothing comes later than my love for you allows." What I am preparing for your life cannot be stolen by time, nor destroyed by the days when you once felt weak. And now, as you stand before the doorway of a new season, I want you to hear my voice clearly calling from the depths of your soul. You have overcome. Not only have you overcome an outward trial, but you have also overcome the fearful version of yourself that kept your heart imprisoned for far too long. There were battles no one else could see. Nights when you silently wrestled with anxiety, with the feeling that you were not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. But I was there. I saw every tear you kept hidden, every unspoken prayer. And not for a single moment did I take my eyes off you. So when I tell you today that you have overcome, it is not merely a word of congratulations for reaching an outcome. It is a declaration of the new identity growing within you. You are no longer someone living beneath the yoke of fear. You are a child protected and kept by me. Remember David before he became king. There were long years when he lived in the wilderness, hunted, misunderstood, and often feeling as though every promise had faded away. Yet in those very dark days, I taught him how to find peace not in the future throne, but in my presence. That is why David could write, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." As written in Psalm 23:4, do you see now? True strength does not come from the disappearance of every danger, but from knowing who is walking beside you. Just like David, you have passed through lands that caused your faith to mature. The things that once made you tremble no longer hold authority over you, because I am establishing you upon the rock of assurance. My beloved child, I do not want you to continue living as someone trying to prove your worth to the world. A rose does not need to shout in order to be recognized as beautiful. It simply blooms in the season I appointed for it. You are the same when you understand that you are chosen, loved, and placed exactly where you belong within my plan. Your heart will stop chasing the approval of people. So much of your weariness has come from trying to become what the world desired, instead of what I created you to be. But today, I am removing that burden from your shoulders. You no longer need to fight for your place, because your place was prepared within my heart before you were even born. Jeremiah 1:9-5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." That means your life is not a random existence lost within a vast world. You were thought of, called by name, and loved with a sacred purpose. So from this place of peace, begin to look toward the future with new eyes. Do not allow anxiety to continue painting distorted pictures within your mind. The dark things fear whispers to you are not the final voice over your life. The final voice belongs to me. And I am telling you that light is drawing nearer to you than you realize. There are doors that will open at the appointed time, just as surely as dawn never forgets the hour of its rising. There are things you believed were lost, that I have only been preparing to return to you in a more beautiful form. As you walk in the identity I have given you, everything will gradually come together like a river finding its way to the sea. No striving, no panic, no more living in a constant state of defense. I am leading you with the gentleness of everlasting love. So today, let your heart rest in this truth. You have overcome, not because your own strength was enough, but because I have carried and kept you throughout the entire journey, and the one who has sustained you until today will continue leading you farther than you ever imagined you could reach. Walk forward with lifted eyes and a soul made light again, for your victory is no longer distant. It is approaching like the dawn touching the earth, after a long night at the right time, according to the right promise and through the love I prepared for you from the very beginning. My beloved child, I want you to understand that overcoming is not merely the moment when you stand at the end of a battle and look back with relief. No, what I am creating within you is far deeper than that. Overcoming is first the new image of your soul. When it stands within my light, it is the state in which your heart no longer defines itself by old failures, old wounds, or the voices that once caused you to doubt your worth. I am clothing you with the garment of belonging, like a father placing a robe of honor upon the shoulders of his beloved child after long days of wandering. And from the moment you realize that you belong to me, a quiet peace begins to flow through every thought and every breath within you. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, as written in 1 John 3:1. You no longer need to run everywhere, searching for a definition of your life, because your true identity has always been held within the gaze of my unchanging love. When your soul truly understands that you are being kept and protected, you will no longer live like someone constantly afraid of losing what is precious. I have seen the seasons in which you grew weary from always holding yourself together, always fearing that if you loosened your grip for even a moment, everything would collapse. But my child, a tree does not grow by tightening itself in fear. It grows by sinking its roots deep into living water. And that is what I am teaching you as well. The more you abide in me, the more naturally you will bloom. Gentleness will no longer be something you struggle to produce. It will become the natural fragrance of a healed soul. Like a young sprout after the first rain of the season, your heart will soften again. You will learn to love without defensiveness, to give without fear of lack, and then you will understand that the achievements I place in your hands are not meant for building monuments to yourself, but so that your life may become a lamp for those wandering in darkness. Matthew 5:16 declares, "Let your light shine before others." True light does not shout for attention. It simply shines because its nature is to give light. Remember Joseph in Egypt before stepping into a position of authority. He endured long years of being sold away, falsely accused, and forgotten in prison. Yet the true miracle was not merely that he was eventually elevated to honor, but that his soul was not transformed into bitterness through suffering. I quietly preserved his identity through every dark season. And so, when power finally came into his hands, he did not use it for revenge, but to save the lives of many. Do you see now? When a person knows they are being led by me, they no longer need victory to prove their worth. They carry within themselves a quiet freedom that comes from knowing their life rests within a purpose greater than themselves. And I am shaping that same thing within you. What you are walking through is not only leading you toward a new place, but also forming within you a new heart, steadfast yet gentle, strong yet full of compassion, because I have gone before you. You do not need to live like someone lost in uncertainty along the journey. I am preparing your path with love and wisdom, beyond what human eyes can fully see. There are things you now call coincidences, but they are truly the imprint of my hand, resting lightly upon your life, a word spoken at the exact right moment, a door opening quietly before you, a person appearing just when your soul needed encouragement. Once you stop exhausting yourself trying to control everything, you will begin to recognize that subtle guidance, just as the prophet Elijah searched for me in the mighty wind, the earthquake and the fire, yet finally heard me in a gentle whisper. As written in 1 Kings 19, I do not always move through dramatic displays. Many times I lead you through a tenderness that only a peaceful heart can perceive. My beloved child, I do not want your mind to continue building walls of defense because you are afraid of being hurt again. Those walls may keep pain from entering, but they also keep light and love from reaching you. I am teaching you to open the inner doors of your heart, so the fresh wind of hope may pass through. When you live in trust, you will discover that life is no longer a place where you must fight every moment merely to survive. Each day will become a journey of discovering grace. You will begin to notice the small things anxiety once caused you to overlook. The kindness in a stranger's eyes, the quiet joy of a peaceful morning, an idea arriving at exactly the right time. None of those things are accidental. They are my way of reminding you that I am still walking beside you. And little by little, lightness of spirit will become the way you move through this world. Others will sense within you a rhythm of peace they cannot explain. Not because your life no longer contains challenges, but because within you there is now a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. Isaiah 26:3 declares, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." That peace will cleanse your vision so that you no longer see the future through the fog of fear. And then new horizons will gradually unfold before your eyes like a painting being completed one brush stroke at a time. I do not ask you to see the whole picture today. I only ask you to keep walking with the trust that everything necessary for this journey has already been placed along your path by my hand. My beloved child, when you truly stand firm in the identity I have given you, you will no longer be drawn into meaningless battles with fear or with the dark scenarios that anxiety tries to place before your eyes. I did not call you to spend your life arguing with darkness. I called you to walk in a light so powerful that darkness fades away on its own. There were days when your mind was filled with images that exhausted your soul as though the future had already been written in disappointment and loss. But today, I want you to understand this. You have the authority to reject every sketch that did not come from me. Not through tense resistance, but through the peace of one who knows exactly to whom they belong. Each time you step out of false thoughts and into the light of truth, you open another inner door for my presence to flow into you. And wherever my presence dwells, the mind begins to heal. Romans 12:2 declares, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." I do not only desire to change the circumstances around you, I am renewing the way you see yourself, your future, and the path before you. You do not need to live in a constant state of preparing for the worst. I have seen how many times you rehearsed pain in your mind before it ever arrived, exhausting your soul with things that existed only in fear. But my child, your future is not directed by anxiety. It is guided by my hand. So instead of practicing fear, begin practicing trust. Every time you choose trust, a new horizon opens within you. I want you to learn in moments of unrest, to place your hand upon your heart and gently speak to your own soul, I am chosen. I am protected. I am guided. Peace is where I belong. Those words are not merely sounds. They are seeds I am planting in the garden of your mind. And like every good seed, they will take root, grow, and bear fruit. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else. For everything you do flows from it. What you nurture within yourself will gradually become the image of your life outwardly. Remember the woman who suffered from bleeding for 12 years. For many long years, she lived in shame, fear, and loneliness. Yet deep within her heart, she still carried a small faith that if she could only touch the hem of my garment, her life would change. The crowd around her was loud. Her circumstances had not yet changed, and her body was still weak. Yet, she chose to move toward the light instead of surrendering to despair. And the moment her hand touched my garment, healing power immediately flowed into her. Do you see what opened the way for the miracle was not the shouting of panic, but the quiet step of trust? In the same way, every time you choose truth instead of fear, you are touching the hem of the peace I have prepared for you. I want to teach you a new rhythm of life, not hurried, not heavy, but filled with presence. Begin with the breath of surrender I am placing into your soul. When you breathe in, remember that your breath carries the life I have given you. When you breathe out, let every pressure leave your heart like dry leaves falling from a branch at the end of the season. Psalm 4:6-10 declares, be still and know that I am God. There are things that can only be healed when you stop trying to control everything and learn how to rest in me. Do not underestimate those quiet moments. It is within that simplicity that I am building a firm foundation for your soul. Each morning, when you write down a few things you are grateful for, you are training your eyes to notice light instead of staring endlessly into darkness. A ray of sunlight through the window, a sincere word of care from someone, a peaceful meal, another day of life. All these are signs that I am still taking care of you. Just as the people of Israel gathered the manna I provided each morning in the wilderness, you are also learning to recognize the gentle nourishment I send to you day by day. Gratitude will soften your soul, and a softened soul can sense my guidance far more easily than a heart hardened by tension. Then at midday, when life begins to rush around you, I want you to pause for just 1 minute. Place your hand upon your chest and remember that you are not walking alone. I am walking beside you through every hour. Others may only see a small pause, but I see it as the moment you return to the true source of your peace. And in the evening, when you reflect upon even one small joy from the day, your soul will begin learning the language of hope. Those little things will slowly weave themselves together into a greater picture of grace. Luke 16:10 says, whoever is faithful in very little will also be faithful in much. The one who learns to recognize small miracles will soon recognize the greater miracles already drawing near. And when night falls, give every burden back to me. Do not carry your worries into sleep. Like a soldier clinging to his armor through the long night, I want your sleep to become a field of peace, where your soul may rest beneath the shadow of my wings. Pray to me with the simplest words, for I do not need perfect sentences. I only desire your honest heart. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. As written in 1 Peter 5:7, you will begin to see that these small habits, repeated in love and trust, are quietly building a house of peace within you, and from that house, you will step into each new day with gentler eyes, a brighter smile, and a heart warm enough to bring light to those who are longing for comfort. My beloved child, when your soul truly rests in the identity I have placed within you, you will begin to look back upon your journey with different eyes. The things that once wounded you will no longer appear as meaningless scars, but as pieces I have quietly used to complete a greater picture than you were ever able to see before. There were days when you asked why you had to walk through so many turns, so many silent seasons, so much waiting. But now I want you to understand that nothing is wasted in my hands. Romans 8:28 declares, all things work together for good to those who love God. What lies behind you no longer follows you in order to frighten you. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you, is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. It is becoming a testimony of my faithfulness over your life, and what is coming is not the fog of uncertainty, but a new horizon slowly unfolding with gentle hope. Even this present moment, the very breath you are taking, the fact that you are alive and held within my embrace carries sacred meaning that anxiety once caused you to overlook. I know there was a long season when you lived according to the hurried rhythm of the world, like someone always afraid of arriving too late, of missing out, of never being enough. But I never created you to be swept away by that storm. I placed within your hands the compass of peace, so that you would know that the one who is guided by me does not need to run in confusion searching for the way. When your heart becomes still, you will realize that my guidance has always been very near. Sometimes it is simply a word of encouragement, arriving at the exact moment your soul is weary. A door opening quietly without striving, or a meeting that seems accidental yet carries light for the next part of your journey. These things are not coincidences, my beloved. They are the small signs I place along your path to remind you that I am still walking beside you every step of the way. Psalm 32:8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I do not lead you through force or chaos, but through a quiet peace that remains steady and enduring. Remember the boy Samuel in the temple long ago, in the stillness of the night. I called his name with a voice so gentle that at first he did not recognize it was me. He thought it was the voice of another, until he learned how to listen with a quiet heart. And from that small boy, Samuel grew into one who carried words of light for an entire nation. Do you see? My voice does not usually come like a storm meant to terrify you. I come like a gentle breeze awakening within you, a calm and humble courage. When you remain in me, you will learn how to discern the difference between the voice of peace and the passing waves of emotion that must simply be allowed to drift away. Not every noise deserves your attention. There are things that will only exhaust your soul, the harder you try to hold on to them. But the things that come from me will carry clarity with them, along with a deep peace, even before you fully understand everything. The more you walk in that guidance, the more you will begin to recognize a new beauty quietly forming within you. True growth is not loud like fireworks bursting brightly for a single night. It is like a garden nourished every morning by the dew, slow yet full of life. I am tending to your soul like a patient gardener, caring for each tender branch. There are days when you think you have not changed very much. Yet I can see the roots within you growing deeper into love and truth. And in the right season, the flowers of wisdom, gentleness, and peace will bloom naturally. Galatians 5:22 says, "The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. These things cannot be forced into existence. They grow when you remain near me long enough for your soul to be transformed. My beloved child, I rejoice to see you rising in that radiant identity, because from that place your vision will be purified day by day. In the past, perhaps you looked at life through the fog glass of old wounds, and even beautiful things appeared distorted before your eyes. But now I am cleansing the eyes of your soul with peace. When your vision is healed, even the simplest things begin to reveal signs of love. A story you read, a word someone speaks, a quiet moment beside a window, all these can carry light if your heart is still enough to recognize it. Philippians 4:8 teaches whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think about such things. I am teaching you to use peace as the filter for your mind, so that darkness will no longer take root within you so easily. Then the layers of fear will slowly dissolve like night, giving way to the dawn. You will begin to see the design I have prepared for your life with increasing clarity. Not everything will become clear in a single moment, but just as an artist patiently completes a painting through gentle brush strokes, I am also adjusting the focus of your vision day by day. There are beauties you once failed to notice that are now beginning to appear in full color. There are things that once disturbed your heart that no longer hold power over you. And through this quiet refining, your heart is learning how to rest, while your eyes are learning how to recognize the hidden beauty woven through every season of life. So today, continue walking forward without panic, simply because you cannot yet see the entire road ahead. The light within you will gradually illuminate the sky before you. I did not call you to run as fast as possible. I called you to walk with steadiness. Every peaceful step you take is a declaration that you trust me to guide your path. And as you continue walking this way, you will realize that your life is slowly becoming a harmonious painting of grace, where old wounds are healed, dreams are placed where they belong, and every day becomes filled with the beauty of one who knows they are loved with an everlasting love. My beloved child, I want to teach you to look at life through eyes touched by peace, not through a lens covered in the dust of anxiety. There were days when your mind resembled a sky heavy with clouds, where countless fearful images appeared and vanished. making you believe your future was threatened by things that had never even happened. But my child, not every image that appears in your mind is truth. Some are merely sketches drawn by fear in moments of weakness. They may appear vivid. They may cause your heart to tremble for a moment, but they do not possess the authority to define your journey. I do not write your life with the ink of panic. Everything that comes from me carries light, opens a way forward, and brings hope even in situations that seem closed and hopeless. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for disaster." Therefore, whenever a thought causes your soul to grow dark and your heart to shrink in fear, learn to recognize that it is not the voice I speak over you. I want you to change the lens of your soul. A person standing in a field at sunset may think the world is sinking into darkness, but the one who sees through the eyes of hope understands that a new dawn is already being prepared beyond the horizon. In the same way, the turns and detours in your life are not signs that I have abandoned you. Many times they are simply the winding roads leading you to something far better than you once imagined. I am teaching you to look beyond the surface of circumstances. There are things you do not yet understand today, but one day you will realize that the very place that seemed like delay was what protected you from a door that was never meant for you. Romans 8:28 reminds you that all things work together for good to those who love God. That means even the pieces you cannot yet understand are already being placed by my hand into the greater picture of your life. Remember the prophet Elisha. When enemy armies surrounded the city where he was staying, his servant was terrified because all he could see was the vast army before them. But Elisha prayed, "Lord, open his eyes so that he may see." And then the servant's eyes were opened, and he saw the hills filled with horses and chariots of fire from the armies of God surrounding them. Do you see? The outward circumstances had not changed, yet everything changed because the way of seeing had changed. What exhausts you is often not the hardship itself, but the fact that you are viewing it through the lens of fear rather than truth. And I am praying over you in the same way, that the eyes of your soul would be open to see that I am far closer to you than your worries could ever be. My beloved child, anxiety always tries to occupy the inner spaces that I desire to fill with peace. Every moment you allow yourself to sink into dark imaginings, your mind slowly becomes like a room crowded with noise, where my gentle whisper grows harder to hear. But I did not create your soul to become a dwelling place for fear. I desire your heart to become a sanctuary of peace. Philippians 4:6-7 declares, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, present your requests to God, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds." I am not telling you to pretend that you have never felt weary or afraid. What I am teaching you is to bring all those things and lay them at my feet, instead of holding them tightly within yourself until your soul becomes unbearably heavy. When you begin reclaiming the inner space of your heart from anxiety, you will feel a change that is both gentle and profound. Your breathing will grow lighter, like someone finally setting down a suitcase they have carried for far too long. Your mind will no longer spin endlessly in circles of fear, but will begin to open like a window, welcoming the early morning breeze. And within that newly cleared space, my voice will become clearer to you. I do not usually come with shouting that startles your heart. I come like quiet waters flowing through a soul that has learned how to listen. Isaiah 3:7-21 says, "Your ears shall hear a voice behind you, saying, 'This is the way, walk in it. I am always guiding you.' But in order to hear me, you must make more room for peace within your heart. I know there were times when you believed that if you stopped worrying, you would lose control and everything would fall apart. But my child, anxiety has never kept your future safe. It has only stolen the beauty of your present moment. Look at the birds of the air that I care for each day. They do not know exactly what tomorrow will bring, yet they still sing when the morning comes. Matthew 6:26 reminds you that you are worth far more than the birds. If I care for every small creature in the sky, how could I ever forget you, the child I love, with an everlasting love? So today, learn to return to me, the things that are beyond your strength. Do not try to carry everything as though you alone must keep the world from falling apart. Every time you set down the lens of anxiety, a new kind of beauty will come into view before you. You will begin to see that the encounters in your life are no longer random, but loving arrangements. A person appears to encourage you. At the very moment you feel like giving up, an opportunity opens in a way that fits precisely with the capacity and timing I have been shaping within you. A door you thought was closed suddenly opens again, but in the most peaceful and gentle way. This is how I lead you, not through chaotic pressure, but through the quiet precision of grace. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." You may not see the entire plan, but I do. And I never overlook anything good prepared for you. I also want you to learn that many of the barriers in your life are in truth hiding greater doors. There are times when I do not allow you to enter what you desire, because I am protecting you from what does not belong to your season. Just as Joseph was placed in prison before he stepped into the palace, many of the delays in your life are not punishment, but preparation. If Joseph had viewed his life only through the lens of disappointment, he would have believed everything had ended. But I used even that place of darkness to refine wisdom and compassion within him. I am doing the same with you. What you do not understand today will become tomorrow's testimony. So, my beloved child, continue to focus on light rather than fixating on darkness. Do not feed the stories that do not come from me. Let my truth take deeper root than any voice of fear. The more you walk in trust, the more clearly you will see that I am carefully weaving the pieces of your life together with perfect wisdom. No tear is wasted. No season of waiting is meaningless. No turn in your path is outside my hand. And one day when you look back, you will realize that the very places that once made you tremble were the places where I opened the brightest paths for your life. My beloved child, there will come a moment when you realize that peace is no longer just a fleeting feeling and rare moments of comfort, but the new center of your life, like a house rebuilt on a firm foundation. After years of storms, your soul is being re-established from within. The noises that once overwhelmed your mind will gradually quiet down. The cycles of thought that once pulled you into anxiety will no longer have the same authority over you. Instead, you will begin to sense a deep and gentle stillness, not cold, not lonely, but filled with my presence. In that stillness, I will speak to you in love, in a quiet joy that grows like a lamp, being filled with oil each night. Psalm 46:6-10 says, "Be still and know that I am God. There are things you will never hear clearly if your heart remains constantly loud. I know there was a time when you lived in a state of constant defense. Even a small change would unsettle you. Even a minor sign of uncertainty would cause your mind to build countless scenarios. But when the peace I give begins to become your inner center, you will no longer react with panic. You will learn to respond with the calmness of one who knows they are never alone in this journey. This is a profound transformation. My beloved child, not because every storm has disappeared, but because your soul has found an unshakable anchor. Just as Jesus slept peacefully on the boat in the midst of a great storm, I am teaching you to remain at peace even while life moves around you. Mark 4:39 tells how he spoke to the sea, "Peace, be still," and the wind ceased. I do not only desire to calm the storms around you, I also desire to speak that same peace into your very heart. When the inner center is rebuilt, you will find that every decision gradually becomes lighter. In the past, you may have carried the fear that a single wrong step could make everything collapse. But I do not lead you like someone walking on a rope above an abyss. I lead you like a father holding his child's hand, guiding them across an unfamiliar road. And when you know that my hand is still holding yours, each step will feel less heavy. Proverbs 3:6 declares, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." You will no longer need to force yourself to control everything. Peace will become an invisible compass, gently helping you discern what to keep, what to release, and what I am preparing for the right time. Remember Mary and Martha when I came to their house. Martha was busy with many tasks, her mind stretched thin by responsibility and the pressure to make everything perfect. But Mary chose to sit quietly at my feet and listen. I did not rebuke Martha for her diligence, but I wanted her to understand that there is something more important than constant business, keeping your soul close to my presence. In the same way, there are moments when life makes you believe you must keep running just to stay caught up, but I am inviting you back to the better part, the place where your heart is anchored, before your hands begin to act. John 4:2 says, "Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Peace is not something you achieve after everything is finished. It is the place from which you begin everything with me. My beloved child, if you continue to let your vision be purified by truth, you will begin to see the colors of your life story more clearly. Things that once confused, you will slowly come into understanding. You will recognize what must be kept, because it nourishes your soul, and what must be released, because it pulls you away from peace. I am teaching you discernment, not through fear, but through inner clarity. When the waters within you become still, you will see the sky reflected more clearly. But when your heart is constantly stirred by anxiety, everything becomes distorted and direction is lost. James 3:17 says that wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle. What comes from me always carries peace, even when it calls you into something new. And there will come a day when you look back and realize that it was this shift in perspective that saved you from many unnecessary detours. Every moment you chose truth over fear, you were moving closer to the center of peace. I prepared for you from the beginning. At the time, you may not have seen the meaning of your choices, but each decision to trust, each moment you paused to listen instead of reacting in haste, was laying a new foundation within you. And from that foundation, a more mature life is being formed. One that is no longer easily shaken by the noise of the world around you. I want you to understand that peace is not a reward reserved for those who have already solved every problem in their lives. No, peace is a gift I place into your hands right in the midst of life's ongoing movement. It is like a lamp lit in the darkness, not to remove all shadows at once, but to guide you step by step along the way. John 16:33 says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart." As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. I have overcome the world. You do not need to wait until everything is perfect to live in peace. You can receive it today in this very moment, because I am here with you. So whenever you feel life beginning to press in on you, pause it. Return to the breath I have given you. Let your soul settle like a lake after a strong wind. In that stillness, I will renew your mind. I will cleanse the eyes of your soul so that you may see through light instead of fear. And then you will continue forward, not as someone struggling against life, but as one walking with me through every season, carrying a peaceful heart and eyes full of hope. My beloved child, the deepest sign that I am near is not that everything around you suddenly becomes perfect, nor that you have all the answers in your hands. The true sign is when your mind begins to soften after long seasons of tension. A softened heart is not a weak heart. It is a heart that has learned to trust enough to stop carrying everything alone. I cannot lead a soul that is tightly locked by fear and control, just as water cannot flow into a vessel that is already sealed. But when you loosen your grip, when you stop holding your life so tightly in anxiety, space opens within you for my presence. Ezekiel 36:26 says, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh." I am softening your heart, not to make you more fragile, but to make you more able to recognize my voice. There were seasons when you lived like someone constantly running ahead of the future, trying to anticipate every turn in order to protect yourself from surprise. But my child, I never invited you into this journey, carrying the burden of seeing everything ahead. I only place enough light before your feet for the next step. Psalm 119:1-5 says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet." A lamp does not illuminate the entire distant field. It only lights the path directly in front of you, and that is enough. Because if I showed you the whole journey at once, your soul might become overwhelmed instead of learning to trust. What I desire from you is not control over the future, but a heart willing to say yes to each step I lead you into. Every time you choose trust instead of fear, every time you move forward without seeing the full path, it is a gentle response offered to me. And those small yeses are quietly leading you into far greater things than you can imagine. Remember, Peter, the night he stepped out of the boat onto the water, as long as his eyes were fixed on me, the storm was still there. but it could not pull him under. It was only when he focused on the wind and waves that fear began to sink him. Do you see? What kept him steady was not the absence of the storm, but where he placed his gaze. I am teaching you the same truth. When your mind stops straining to control everything, you will hear my gentle guidance more clearly. Sometimes it is only a quiet sense of peace about a decision. Sometimes it is a gentle prompting to slow down instead of rushing in fear. I do not often lead you through pressure and anxiety. I lead you through peace. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." Peace is not only meant to comfort you, it is also meant to govern your inner life, like a faithful guardian at the gate of your soul. When the true center of peace is established within you, you will begin to notice that you respond differently to life. The things that once easily startled you will no longer shake you as before. Not because you have become cold or indifferent, but because within you there is now a foundation more solid than passing emotions. I see a beautiful maturity growing in you, the maturity of one who pauses to listen before reacting, who guards their inner life in peace before making decisions. Proverbs 19:2 says, "Desire without knowledge is not good, and whoever makes haste with his feet misses his way." The world often pressures you to be quick, to react immediately, to grasp every opportunity out of fear of missing out. But I am teaching you a different rhythm, the rhythm of one who knows that what belongs to them will not pass them by outside of my will. My beloved child, the peace I place within you does not only transform you, it also touches those around you. There are souls who are exhausted from living in noise and pressure, and when they encounter you, they will sense a gentleness within you that cannot be fabricated. Without you trying to prove anything, that peace will naturally overflow like the fragrance of a flower blooming in its appointed season. People will not only hear your words, they will feel the peace in your presence, in your eyes, in your calmness, and in your kindness. Matthew 5 declares, "Blessed are the peacemakers." I am shaping your life to become a place where others can touch the rest they are longing for. That same peace will also give you clarity to discern timing. There will be moments when I call you to move forward with courage. There will be moments when I call you to pause and wait for another season. And there will also be moments when I simply ask you to be still while I act on your behalf. Those who live in anxiety often cannot discern these distinctions, because fear always pushes them to act immediately. But those who live in peace learn the rhythm of heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds you, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven." When fear no longer leads you, you will neither rush ahead of me nor fall behind through doubt. You will walk in the exact rhythm of grace prepared for your life. And then you will discover something beautiful. Every time you choose peace instead of surrendering to panic, you are opening the door of your inner life for grace to flow in. For where the heart is filled with the noise of fear, it becomes difficult to recognize the good things I am sending. But when your heart becomes still, you will begin to see small miracles more clearly. An opportunity at the right time, a healing encounter, a path of clarity emerging from confusion. These are not coincidences. They are streams of grace finding their way into your life through the open door of trust. So today, I am not asking you to understand everything. I am simply inviting you to soften in my presence. Let peace become your new center. Let every breath remind you that I am here, still guiding, still keeping you, and still loving you with a love that has never changed. And as you continue to walk this way, you will see that loosening your grip does not cause you to lose anything at all. It only leads you into hands more faithful than anything you were ever trying to hold together. My beloved child, the peace I give you is not like a thin mist that disappears when the wind rises, nor is it a fragile feeling that survives only in favorable seasons. It is like roots driven deep into the earth, quietly yet powerfully, holding the tree steady through every storm. People often only see the branches swaying and forget that it is the unseen roots that determine whether the tree will stand or fall. Your soul is the same. If your roots are anchored in my presence, the winds of circumstance cannot uproot you from that foundation of peace. The leaves may tremble, and some weak branches may be pruned, but it is the storm itself that drives your roots deeper into trust. Jeremiah 17:9-7-8 declares that the one who trusts in the Lord will be like a tree planted by water, whose leaf does not wither. I desire you to become that kind of tree, not dependent on the seasons around you to sustain the life within you. My beloved child, I know there were moments when you believed peace was something you could only reach after you had overcome every trial, but I am teaching you a deeper truth. Peace is not the final destination. It is the companion I want you to carry throughout the entire journey. It walks with you into every morning when you open your eyes, into every conversation, every small decision, and every turn you do not yet understand. Peace does not wait until all problems are solved to appear. It is present right in the midst of what remains unfinished, reminding you that I am still holding your hand. John 14:27 declares, "Peace I leave with you." I am not saying that I will only give you peace once your life becomes perfect. I place it within you now like cool water, flowing quietly beneath dry ground. Remember the olive tree on the hills of Israel. It does not grow in easy conditions. Hot winds, rocky soil, and long seasons of drought do not cause it to stop living. Instead, they cause its roots to grow deeper, in search of hidden water beneath the earth, and over time, it becomes a symbol of endurance and peace. I am forming that same kind of life within you. Some difficult seasons are not meant to destroy you, but to draw your soul deeper into the unending source of peace that is found in me. Those who only know how to live in favorable conditions will easily collapse at the first wind of hardship, but those who learn to abide in me will carry life even in the wilderness. I want you to guard this center of peace within you with great care, for this world is filled with noise that tries to pull your soul away from its place of rest. There will be days when your mind is stirred again by news, by pressure, by returning waves of anxiety. But my child, do not be alarmed when this happens. Simply return. Come back to the breath of surrender I have taught you. Inhale trust and exhale every burden. Remember that you are held within my arms, not standing alone on the edge of a cliff. Isaiah 6:3 declares, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose mind is stayed on you." Peace does not disappear because you are shaken for a moment. It remains waiting for you to return and receive it again. My beloved child, every time you return to peace, you are training your soul into a new rhythm of life. In the past, you may have reacted with haste, with the need to control everything immediately in order to feel safe. But I am freeing you from that way of living. The need for tight control often exhausts the human heart, because no finite being can hold all things together by their own strength. Only when you learn to release what is not yours to carry do you truly become free. Matthew 11:29 says, "Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart." Gentleness is not weakness. It is strength placed under the guidance of love and wisdom. I am teaching you to walk in that strength. Remember the people of Israel when they journeyed through the wilderness. Each day I provided manna sufficient for that day alone. If they tried to store it out of fear that tomorrow would not be enough, the excess would spoil. Through this I was teaching them, and I am also teaching you that life is not built on the fear of lack, but on daily trust. You do not need to carry the entire future in order to feel secure. You only need to receive what is enough for today from my hand. And when you live this way, your soul becomes significantly lighter. Then you will begin to notice a new beauty in how you face life. The things that once caused you to react with tension will no longer easily shake you. Not because you have become indifferent, but because within you there is now a foundation deeper than passing emotions. From that place of peace, your words will become gentler, your decisions clearer, and the love you give more genuine. James 1:19 teaches, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." A person who lives in peace does not need to react immediately to protect themselves. They know that I am already protecting them. My beloved child, even now I am preparing to lead you into a new way of living, no longer a life of constant strain and resistance, but a life of abiding and trust. A new freedom is unfolding within you, the freedom of one who knows how to release what they were never meant to carry, and place everything into my faithful hands. Do not fear letting go of burdens you were not created to bear, for when you release them from your grip, you will find that I have been waiting to hold them all along. And from that place of peace, you will move forward not as someone trying to survive life, but as one being led by an unchanging, everlasting love. My beloved child, I want to lead you deeper into the sacred art of surrender. Something gentle in expression, but powerful in authority. The world often sees surrender as weakness, as giving up, as passively letting life happen. But what I am teaching you is not hopeless resignation. It is the resting of one who knows they are being guided by hands more faithful than their own strength. Surrender does not make you passive. Instead, it teaches you to move in rhythm, rather than exhaust yourself running ahead of the future. Proverbs 3:5-6 declares, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." Do you see? I am not telling you to stop walking. I am teaching you to walk with me, instead of dragging your entire life alone. I know there were seasons when you were weary from trying to control everything. Your mind would race through countless possibilities, like someone standing at a crossroads, trying to see every path at once. But my child, not everything has been placed in your hands for you to carry. When you try to hold what is beyond your capacity, your soul becomes depleted and still finds no peace. I have never called you to become the controller of your future. I have called you to become one who walks with me in the present moment. Matthew 6:7 asks, "Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life?" Anxiety makes you believe you are protecting your life, but in truth, it only pulls you further away from the rest I desire to give you. Look at the person steering a boat on a great river. If they constantly resist every current and every wind, their hands will quickly grow exhausted. But when they learn to move with the flow in the right direction, they continue forward without losing their strength. I am teaching you the same principle. There are things you must act upon with faithfulness and courage. But there are also things you must learn to lay down at my feet. Surrender is knowing what belongs to your responsibility and what belongs to my sovereignty. You only need to remain faithful in today's step, while the doors, the timing, and how all the pieces come together. Leave that to me. Ecclesiastes 3:7-11 declares that I make everything beautiful in its time. Nothing arrives too late in my plan, and nothing comes too early to harm you. Remember Mary, the mother of Jesus. When the angel announced something far beyond human understanding, she could not see the entire journey ahead. She did not know where the years would lead, nor did she fully comprehend the suffering and glory that awaited her. Yet she responded with a surrender-filled answer, I am the Lord's servant. May it be done to me according to your word. That simple yes opened the way for a miracle to enter the world. Do you see? So often what I require from you is not a perfect plan, but a heart willing to say, Father, I will walk with you. And then each small step of obedience leads you into things far greater than your mind could ever imagine. My beloved child, each day I ask you something very simple. What am I inviting you to do today? Do not let your mind become overwhelmed by hundreds of questions about tomorrow to the point that you miss the grace of today. Some people, by constantly looking too far ahead, miss the door I have already opened before them. But the one who surrenders learns the beauty of the present moment. They learn to focus on what I place in their hands today, a task to be done with sincerity, a person to be loved, a prayer to be offered in honesty. Luke 16:10. Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much. I often lead you into greater things through the small daily faithfulness of today. When you begin to release what is not yours to carry, your hands will feel much lighter. I see how often you try to hold things I never asked you to bear. Fear about the future, pressure to understand everything, the need to satisfy everyone. But hands that are clenched too tightly cannot receive the gifts I am placing before you. I am teaching you to open your hands. For open hands are not only meant for giving, they are also meant for receiving. Psalm 55:22 declares, Cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you. You were not created to live with a burdened soul. I desire you to walk with the lightness of one who knows they are being cared for. And then you will notice a beautiful shift in your rhythm of life. Your thoughts will no longer spin in chaos as before. Your decisions will no longer be driven by the fear of having to seize everything at once. Joy will return to you like a clear stream flowing through land that was once dry. And the wonder is this: the more you surrender, the clearer you will become within yourself. For when the noise of anxiety quiets down, you will hear my guidance more clearly. Isaiah 30:21 declares, You will hear a voice behind you saying, This is the way, walk in it. I have never stopped guiding you. It is only that fear has often drowned out my voice. My beloved child, in this openness, you will discover that I have already prepared gifts perfectly suited for your soul, not too heavy to exhaust you, not too small to leave you empty. I know the exact capacity of your heart, what will mature you, and what will heal you. So do not be afraid to release. what I am not asking you to hold. A field can only bloom when the farmer is willing to release the seeds into the soil, instead of keeping them in his hands. And so it is with you. Some things can only blossom when you learn to place them into my hands with gentle trust. So today, take a deep breath and let your soul rest in this truth. You are not meant to carry your entire life alone. I am here. I go before you. I hold what is beyond your reach. And as you continue to walk in surrender, you will find that freedom is no longer a distant idea. It will blossom within your heart like an open field under the sunrise of my love. My beloved child, when you truly enter into the freedom of surrender, your soul will begin to breathe in an entirely different rhythm. In the past, your mind may have been stretched thin by the need to control too many things, to calculate too many possibilities, until your inner creativity and peace became covered by noise. But I did not create you to live in such a scattered state. I created you with the capacity to perceive beauty, to recognize opportunity, and to reflect my light through the way you live each day. And this only truly flourishes when your heart is released from the burden of holding what was never meant to be in your hands. When you stop trying to hold the entire sky with limited human strength, your eyes will begin to clearly see the path I am opening right before you. Isaiah 26:3 declares, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose mind is stayed on you." From that place of peace, clarity begins to arise. You will be surprised to discover that many beautiful things have always been around you, but anxiety caused you to overlook them. A gentle opportunity appearing at the right time, a word of encouragement arriving on the very day you felt like giving up, an encounter that seemed random but carried the answer to what you were searching for. These are not merely coincidences. I am quietly arranging the pieces with a wisdom greater than your understanding. Proverbs 16:9 says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." There are doors I open not with loud signs, but with a quiet peace that lets your soul know this is the way. And when you live in this rhythm, you will no longer need to chase the false certainty of the world, because within you there will already be a deeper assurance than any circumstance can provide. I want you to understand that the freedom I give you does not make you careless or without responsibility. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. On the contrary, it brings a kind of focused clarity that is both gentle and strong. When your heart is no longer drained by what is outside your responsibility, you will have enough strength to care for what I have placed in your hands today. Those who live in anxiety often act in haste and exhaustion, but those who walk in surrender act from clarity and peace. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord." I am not calling you to do everything at once. I am calling you to be faithful with the present step, and within that quiet faithfulness, I will bring forth results beyond your own ability. Remember Noah, when I instructed him to build an ark in a time when rain had never been seen before. He did not understand everything I was about to do. He could not control the reactions of those who mocked him, yet each day he simply did what I asked with steady trust and obedience. Every piece of wood placed in quiet faith became the vessel that saved his family when the flood came. Do you see? I often build great things through ordinary daily faithfulness, not through frantic urgency, but through the steady rhythm of one who knows they are walking with me. My beloved child, surrender is also teaching you a deeply loving form of stewardship. I want you to plan, to work diligently, to sue with responsibility, but I do not want the goals you set to become masters that rule over the peace within your heart. There are those who gain many things, yet lose their own soul in the process. I am not calling you to live that way. I am teaching you to work from a place of abiding. This means you still prepare, you still strive, you still move forward with dedication yet deep within you. There remains room for my grace to move freely. James 4:15 reminds you, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. This does not make you passive. It keeps your heart soft and responsive to my leading. You will learn to honor both the rhythm of work and the rhythm of rest. The world often sees rest as waste, but I call resting in me wisdom. Even the earth needs seasons of rest to become fertile again. Even Jesus often withdrew to quiet places to pray before continuing his journey. So do not feel guilty when you pause to restore your soul. Psalm 23 says that I make you lie down in green pastures and lead you beside still waters. I do not only care about how much you accomplish, I also care about whether your soul remains fresh and alive. When you learn this rhythm, every adjustment in your life will no longer frighten you. The proud often fear change because they believe adjustment means failure. But the humble understand that new light can always lead them more accurately. I am teaching you to keep a heart soft enough to change when I reveal a new direction. And the beautiful truth is this: each time you yield to my guidance, you will find the path before you becoming smoother in a gentle and unexpected way. Isaiah 30:21 declares, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." I have never stopped guiding you. My beloved child, you only need a quiet heart to hear. And from that place of peace, your words will begin to carry healing. You will speak with the language of grace instead of reacting under pressure. Others will feel lighter in your presence, not because you have all the perfect answers, but because your presence itself carries true peace. Proverbs 15:1 says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath when your soul is at peace." Your words will become a place of refuge for those who are weary. So today, I want you to continue walking in this freedom. Do your part wholeheartedly. Care for each small step with love and diligence. But do not forget to smile at the part. I am quietly unfolding behind the veil. Beyond what your eyes can yet see, I am connecting what you cannot arrange by yourself. I am opening doors at the appointed time, and I am leading you into a life no longer ruled by pressure, but carried by the rhythm of my peace and everlasting grace. My beloved child, when you truly learn surrender with your whole soul, your inner eyes will begin to open in a very gentle way. What once seemed fragmented, meaningless, or endlessly delayed will begin to appear like pieces, slowly finding their place. There were seasons when you thought you were merely circling through the same lesson, the same pain, the same waiting without end. But I want you to know that no cycle is wasted when your life is in my hands. I do not allow you to return to the same place to exhaust you. I use those cycles to refine your soul, like water flowing continuously over stone, until its roughness is smoothed and it begins to reflect light. Romans 5:3-4 says, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Do you see? I am always forming something deeper than what your circumstances appear to show. There are silences that once made you think I had moved far away from you. But now, I want you to see those silent seasons with new eyes. Silence is not always emptiness. Many times it is the room where I am preparing a new song to rise within your soul. A seed placed beneath the soil appears to have disappeared, yet it is quietly beginning to sprout. In the same way, there are seasons where I allow you to walk through stillness, not to abandon you, but so that something new may be formed in your deepest inner being. Psalm 65:11 says, you crown the year with your bounty, but before harvest, there is always a hidden season of sowing in dark soil, and I know exactly when the seed of hope within you needs to be watered with waiting, with peace, and with surrender. Remember Joseph in the years he was forgotten in prison to natural eyes. His life looked like a broken sequence of events: betrayal, slavery, false accusation, and being forgotten. But I saw the entire picture from the beginning. What seemed disconnected was actually being woven into a path that would lead him to a position of saving many lives. Not a single year was wasted in my hands. Even the darkest place formed within him the wisdom, compassion, and maturity required for his future. And you, my beloved child, are the same. There are things you do not yet understand about why you had to walk through certain difficult turns. But one day, you will look back and see that each one was quietly shaping you into someone deeper, gentler, and stronger. My beloved child, I am the skilled craftsman patiently restoring your life piece by piece. I do not work in haste. The world may demand instant change, but true beauty takes time to form. An artist does not carelessly throw paint onto a canvas. Every stroke is placed with intention and care. I am doing the same with your soul. The cracks you once felt ashamed of are becoming places where light enters. The things that once made you feel broken are now shaping a depth and tenderness you did not have before. Isaiah 61:3 declares that I give beauty for ashes. I am not only repairing your life, I am transforming ashes into new beauty. When you stand in the light of surrender, you will begin to sense this rhythm of restoration more clearly. It is not loud like thunder, but steady like the sunrise that never fails to appear. I am repositioning even your memories within your heart. What once brought only pain or regret will begin to be healed in the way you see it. What once caused you to stumble will become part of the sacred pattern of your story. Not because the wound itself was good, but because I have touched it with grace. Like the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold. The cracks are no longer hidden, but become the most valuable part of the vessel. I am joining together the parts of your life you thought were lost forever. My beloved child, do not underestimate the small steps of this restoration. The world celebrates only large transformations, but I see beauty in every quiet movement of your heart. One day you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness. One moment you choose peace instead of reacting in haste. one pause in which you listen to me, instead of rushing into panic. These are like small stones, building the foundation of a temple within you. Zechariah 4:10 says, "Who despises the day of small things? I do not despise your small steps." They are forming the strongest foundation of all. And there will come a moment when you clearly feel the flow of restoration moving through your life. It will be like cool water flowing through dry ground, softening what was hardened by pain and disappointment. I will reconnect what seemed broken, not to return you to who you once were, but to make you new in a deeper way than before. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. This newness does not arrive in a single night. It grows day by day through surrender and peace. So today, continue walking with gentle gratitude. Do not rush to become perfect immediately. Allow me to do the work of the master craftsman over your life. I know exactly which piece belongs where, which memory needs healing first, and which door must open at the right time. And when you look back over the entire journey, you will understand that nothing was random. What once seemed scattered was always quietly moving toward each other within my plan of love until it formed a complete story, the story of a soul restored by grace, guided by peace, and loved with an unchanging love. My beloved child, there are deep works I can only accomplish when your heart becomes still enough to listen. Do not fear the quiet seasons I place in your path. Many times you think silence means delay or emptiness. But in that stillness, I am rearranging everything from the root. I begin beneath the surface before I touch what is visible. I renew desire before I open doors. I purify longing, so that when what is good arrives, your heart is ready to receive it without losing it. Clarity only appears when the soul stops its noise. I know there are moments when you feel uneasy with this slowing down. You want to know what comes next to see results immediately so your heart can rest. But my child, an orchestra cannot produce harmony if every instrument is rushed onto the stage without first being tuned in silence. I am tuning the rhythm within you in the same way. When you slow down to listen, you will notice that many things that once felt urgent no longer carry the same weight. Temporary distractions will no longer pull you as easily because your heart is learning to recognize the true voice of peace. James 3:17 says that wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle. What comes from me does not push you into chaos. It leads you into harmony. Remember the prophet Elijah when he fled into the wilderness in exhaustion and despair. He once believed that he could only encounter me in great and dramatic manifestations in the strong wind, the earthquake, or the fire. But in the end, I came to him in a gentle whisper. It was in that stillness that I renewed his soul, realigned his vision, and restored his strength for the journey ahead. You are the same. I do not always heal you through dramatic change. Many times I heal you through ordinary mornings, through a verse of scripture, gently touching your heart, through a quiet moment when you sit still and suddenly feel peace rise within you. That is how I enter the deepest places that noise cannot reach. My beloved child, true healing always begins within. I do not only desire for you to be better on the surface, I desire your soul to be truly restored. There are wounds that once shaped your reactions in fear, even without your awareness. There are desires that were once misdirected because you longed too deeply for approval or feared abandonment. But I am gently realigning all things within you. I will give you a new heart, I am replacing a tense heart with one that knows how to rest in me. And when the roots within you are healthy, the outward decisions of your life will naturally become more aligned. A tree does not need to strive to appear green if its roots are nourished by the right source. Its leaves and blossoms will appear in their proper season. I also want you to learn to recognize the small signs of progress each day. The world often only acknowledges great transformations, but I see the beauty in every subtle movement of your heart. One day you respond with gentleness instead of anger. One moment you choose peace instead of panic. One instant you pause to give thanks instead of dwelling in lack. These are not small things in my eyes. They are the evidence that restoration is truly taking place within you. Zechariah 4:10 asks, "Who despises the day of small things? I do not despise the small beginnings. My beloved child, they are quietly forming the foundation of your renewed life." So I delight when you remember the traces of grace along your journey. A simple journal of grace can become a lamp for the days when you forget how far you have come. Write down 3 things that brought you peace, 2 small sparks of hope I placed in your day, and 1 act of love you offered to another. These may seem simple, but they are like stones marking the path of your soul's pilgrimage. One day, when you look back, you will see how faithfully I guided you through every turn. Lamentations 30:22-23 declares, "His mercies are new every morning. Every day carries traces of my love." If only your heart is still enough to notice, I will continue to send you gentle markers along the way. Sometimes it will be a conversation at the right moment that brings clarity to your soul. Sometimes it will be a door that closes in order to open something deeper ahead. Sometimes it will be a sudden thought that arises while you are praying or resting. Do not overlook these moments. They are whispers that I am still at work, even when you cannot yet see the full picture. Romans 8:28 is still unfolding in your life each day. All things are working together for good for those who love me. And slowly, piece by piece, everything will begin to connect into a clear path. You will realize that what once seemed random was always carefully prepared to lead you here. Gratitude will grow within you like a warm shelter for your soul in seasons of cold wind. A grateful heart no longer lives in constant sense of lack because it begins to recognize how deeply it has been cared for. Philippians 4:7 says that the peace of God will guard your heart and your mind, and that very peace will become a gentle dwelling place for your soul, where you no longer have to search for safety, because you have already found your home in my loving presence. My beloved child, I want you to hold this deeply in your heart. The journey I am leading you through does not end in loss or coldness. I am not taking you through seasons of healing merely so that you might survive as a weakened version of yourself after pain. No, I am leading you into a fullness of maturity, into a beauty where your soul becomes tender without being fragile, gentle without being afraid of the storm. The world often thinks maturity means becoming harder, hiding emotions and building walls no one can cross. But the maturity I form within you is different. It is like a great tree standing in strong winds, yet still offering shade for others to rest beneath. Philippians 4:5 says, "Let your gentleness be evident to all." True strength is not found in making others fear you. It is found in being able to remain at peace and love even after many trials. I see within you a deepening river beginning to form. In the past, your emotions may have been easily shaken, like a small lake stirred by the wind. But now I am making your inner joy more stable, not a joy dependent on everything going well, but the joy of one who knows they are held securely in my hands. John 15:11 says that I give you my joy so that your joy may be complete. This joy is not loud like the fleeting laughter of the world. It is deep like a hidden river, quietly sustaining the land through seasons of drought. And as your soul becomes anchored in this joy, you will find yourself steadier in the face of what once made you anxious. The very places that once became wounds within you will become places through which you bring comfort to others. I do not allow you to go through pain so that you may carry it alone. I transform what you have overcome into a light for those still walking in darkness. Remember Peter, after he stumbled and denied me 3 times. I did not discard him because of his weakness. I restored him in love and entrusted him with the care of my sheep. The one who once wept in repentance became the one who strengthened others. You are the same. What once caused you to bow your head in pain will become the source of gentle compassion within you. 2 Corinthians 1:34 declares that I comfort you, so that you may comfort those in any trouble with the comfort you yourself receive. So do not be ashamed of the seasons of weakness you have walked through. I am using them to shape a deeper mercy within you. My beloved child, I am expanding your heart in a very subtle and tender way. I am teaching you to empathize without being consumed by the pain of others. I am teaching you patience without losing initiative. I am teaching you boldness without control. This kind of maturity can only grow through healing. An unhealed heart often loves through fear or control. But a heart restored by me loves in freedom and peace. Galatians 5:22-23 says that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. I am growing these fruits within your life, not through pressure, but through deep restoration at the root. And then you will realize that you are no longer haunted by the question, am I falling behind? I know there were times when you looked at others and wondered why they seemed to arrive faster than you. But my beloved child, flowers do not all bloom in the same season, and that does not make one spring less beautiful than another. I am teaching you to love the sacred rhythm I have appointed for your life. For everything there is a season to plant in hope, a season to nurture with patience, a season to reap with joy, and a season to rest so that your soul may be renewed. Those who understand this no longer rush ahead of me, nor fall behind in fear. They learn the beauty of walking in step with my timing. My beloved child, when your heart truly abides in the present moment, the comparison charts within you will begin to dissolve. You will no longer measure the value of your life by the pace of others. Instead, gratitude will open your eyes to what is already beautiful and present right now. A sincere conversation, a companion who remains by your side, a peaceful day, a small opportunity quietly unfolding. I want you to see that many miracles have already been surrounding you, but comparison caused you to overlook them. Luke 17 tells of 10 lepers who were healed, yet only one returned to give thanks. The one who was grateful did not only receive a gift, he also recognized that the giver was near. You are about to enter your divine future. Remember that this message does not end with you. People can use your breakthrough to get where they need to go through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community, you can help this mission. By doing so, you are sowing into the awakening, deliverance, and restoration of souls who are still trapped in darkness. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." Every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. Now is your time, my child. Have faith, and as you do, watch God multiply what you let go of. My beloved child, gratitude will also teach you to cherish the people I place along your path. Some come not to stay forever, yet they are still gifts for their appointed season. Some walk with you only for a short distance, yet leave light that illuminates your entire journey. When you live with a grateful heart, you will no longer focus only on what is missing. You will begin to honor what is already present, and from that place, your soul becomes more open, more peaceful, and more free. I want you to move forward with the posture of one who knows that what is good never arrives late in my plan. Your eyes may not yet see the full picture, but I already see it. You may not understand why certain doors have not yet opened, but I know the exact moment that is most beautiful for your life. Habakkuk 2:3 declares that the promise will surely come. It will not delay. So stop pressuring your soul to outrun grace. Walk in peace, sow in hope, rest in trust, and you will see the horizon before you becoming wider, higher, and brighter. Because your heart has learned the sacred art of gratitude and surrender. My beloved child, I want you to stop seeing time as something running ahead of you. For many days, you have placed pressure on your soul, feeling as though you must arrive somewhere quickly, as if you must catch up before a door closes. But in me, there is no anxious rushing. The timing I hold for you carries gentleness and perfect precision. Like the sunrise that never forgets its appointed hour, even when the sky is still covered in clouds. Ecclesiastes 3:11 declares that I make everything beautiful in its time. This means your life is not drifting through randomness. I am holding you within a loving schedule where all that is good is preserved for the right season of your soul. I know there are moments when you look around and feel as though you are behind others. There are dreams you have long carried, doors you have prayed for that have not yet opened. But do not mistake this slowness for wasted delay. Fruit picked too early is not yet sweet. A seed constantly dug up for inspection cannot grow deep roots. I am preserving many things in your life in the same way, not because I want you lacking, but because I want your heart to be large enough to receive what is coming with maturity and peace when the time is right. And Fleafore says, let perseverance finish its work. Some things only become truly beautiful when they are completed in the timing I have set. Remember David before he became king. The oil had already been poured upon him. Yet the throne did not come immediately. Long years were spent tending sheep, fleeing danger, and walking through seasons where no one could see my hidden preparation. To human eyes, it may have looked like delay, but I knew exactly what I was doing. I was not only preparing the throne for David, I was preparing David for the throne. And you, my beloved child, are the same. I am preparing what is ahead for you. And I am also preparing you for what is ahead. And that preparation is not neglect. It is love taking its time to make you ready. When you begin to trust in my divine timing, your soul will become much lighter. You will no longer feel the pressure to force everything to bloom instantly. You will learn to walk in a rhythm that fits the strength and grace I give you for today. Those who live in peace do not demand that buds open before their season. They trust that the sun will come at the appointed time. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart." Waiting in me is not a place of death or emptiness. It is where faith takes deeper root and your heart learns true stability. My beloved child, time is not your enemy in my hands. Time is like a gentle companion walking beside you, guiding you through every season with quiet wisdom. There are doors that must open immediately, and I will open them clearly, but there are also doors that must remain closed for a little while longer, so that everything within you can be properly aligned. I do not want you to enter into good things with a heart still filled with fear or unrest, even in the days that feel silent and still. I am working behind the veil, where your eyes cannot see. Isaiah 64:4 declares that I act on behalf of those who wait for me, even when you cannot perceive movement. My hands are still arranging what is necessary for your future. Look at how I compose a piece of music. Not a single note is misplaced. There are high notes and low notes, long resonances and moments of silence between melodies. Without silence, the music would become noise. Your life is the same. The pauses are not evidence that I have forgotten you. They are part of the harmony I am shaping for your journey. The people you will meet, the ideas that will arise, the opportunities that will come, all of them are being arranged like notes, placed perfectly in rhythm at the right time. Romans 8:28 continues to work quietly beneath it all. All things are working together for good for those who love me. I want you to care for the present moment with faithfulness and peace. Do not live so far in the future that you lose the beauty I have placed in today. There is a conversation I want you to be fully present in. There is a small task I want you to do with love. There is a person who needs you to listen with a calm heart. In these small things, you are stepping into my greater plan without even realizing it. Luke 16:10 says that whoever is faithful in little things will also be entrusted with much. I am not asking you to understand the entire journey. I am asking you to walk faithfully in today's light, and there will come a time when you look back on these waiting seasons with gratitude. You will see that not a single prayer was lost, not a single true dream was forgotten. What once seemed delayed actually arrived at the most beautiful moment for your soul. Habakkuk 2:3 declares that the promise will certainly come and will not delay. So do not fear when everything has not yet taken shape. Let peace become your breathing. Let surrender become your resting place, and trust that I am weaving your future with a wisdom far more gentle and perfect than anything human calculation could produce. My beloved child, when your heart rests in the timing I have appointed, you yourself become an instrument that releases the melody of divine alignment. Others will see in you a quiet steadiness that does not come from having everything perfect, but from knowing you are being guided. And then on by doors will open, not with noise or chaos, but with clarity like a flower unfolding naturally when the sunlight is sufficient. You are not losing opportunities. You are being led into the right ones, the right season, the right rhythm, and the right love I have prepared for you long before you knew how to name it. My beloved child, there are very gentle yet profound signs that you are walking in step with my timing. It is not always through dramatic breakthroughs or events that astonish others. Often the first sign is simply that your heart becomes quieter. In the midst of unfinished situations, Your mind is no longer as restless as before. In unexpected changes, you still carry an inner clarity, and among countless choices in life, what is meant for you arrives with a sense of peace, neither forced nor chaotic, but fitting and steady. Philippians 4:77 declares that the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. When you are aligned with me, peace becomes the gatekeeper of your inner life. I know there were times when you believed that all good things must arrive with intensity, with loud confirmation and absolute certainty. But many of the things I send into your life come in quietness. A word of encouragement arrives exactly when your soul needs strengthening. A door opens without you having to force your way through it. A meeting brings warmth to your heart, as though it had been prepared long before. These are like soft chimes within the soul, unforcing yet unmistakably clear. John 20:27 says, "My sheep hear my voice." When you remain close to me long enough, you will recognize that my guidance does not create confusion. It brings clarity and peace even when you do not yet see the full path ahead. My beloved child, even sudden changes will no longer cause you to panic as before. For when your heart has learned trust, you will understand that some turns in the road are simply my way of making the path straighter. Remember Abraham, when I called him to leave his homeland without revealing the full destination. If he had lived only by the need to understand everything, he would never have been able to move. Yet step by step, I led him into the land I had promised. I am leading you in the same way. Even if plans shift today, even if things do not unfold as you expected, it does not mean you are lost. Often I am simply realigning your direction so that something better can arrive at the right time. And you will notice a beautiful maturity growing within you. You are becoming faithful in small things. In the past, you may have longed for large visible outcomes, but now you are beginning to understand that every harvest begins with small seeds. Luke 16:10 declares, "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much." I delight in how you care for a kind word, a quiet task, a seemingly ordinary encounter. For it is in these simple things that your character is being formed. One who is not faithful in small things will struggle to hold what is large when it comes. But one who learns the beauty of consistency will become as steady as a tree planted by living water. My beloved child, I am also softening your words so that they become a place of rest for weary souls. There were moments when your words may have come from fear or self-protection. But now I am teaching you to speak with grace. Proverbs 16:24 says, "Gracious words are like honey." A healed heart no longer uses words to prove its worth. It uses them to bring light and life to others. And the wonder is this: every time you comfort someone with sincerity, your own soul is quietly healed a little more. My delight is in seeing you learn to rejoice in the season of others without feeling a sense of lack in your own. This is a sign of a truly maturing heart. Those who live in comparison struggle to enjoy their own season. But those who trust my timing understand that every soul carries a unique schedule written in love. Romans 12:15 says, "Rejoice with those who rejoice." When you genuinely celebrate the light in another person's life, your own heart does not grow dim. Instead, it expands to receive the light I have prepared for you, and that joy will return to enrich the season that is coming toward you. There will come a day when you realize that something very peaceful has opened within you. You will no longer feel the need to raise your voice in order to prove your worth. You will no longer need to create impact through pressure or display. I only ask you to say yes to my gentle invitation and continue walking in faithfulness. The rest I will unfold in its appointed time. Esther did not step into her calling through noise or self-promotion. She quietly yielded to my guidance until the moment came. And a woman who once lived in hiddenness became the instrument through which an entire nation was preserved. You are the same. The influence I am forming in you is not for self-exaltation, but so that your life may become shade and refuge for many. When gratitude and divine timing dwell together within you, your words will become increasingly pure and clear. Others will sense in you not only what you say, but the peace that stands behind your words. I am training your steps through seasons of waiting, so that when you enter new ground, you will not be driven by fear nor slowed by doubt. I 40:31 declared. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. You will walk with the rhythm of one who understands that what is good does not need to be seized. It will arrive in due time under my faithful hand. And then when the gentle wind of grace moves across your life, you will hear a very soft yet life-giving invitation. It is time to open the door to the true future I have prepared. Not a future built on fear or pressure, but one that has ripened in peace. In that place, your talents will become streams that refresh others. The experiences you have walked through will become seeds that bring life. The encounters I have arranged will become gardens offering rest to weary souls. And you will understand that every season of waiting was never wasted. It was the hidden preparation for the most beautiful timing of your life. My beloved child, when I lead you into the true future I have prepared, you will not step forward as someone escaping darkness with empty hands. No, you will be carrying treasures quietly formed. Through every season you walked with me, there were things you did not recognize as gifts because they were wrapped in trials and waiting in quiet and seemingly uneventful days. But now I want you to see that every season has left within you a gentle form of glory, patience refined, softness that is no longer weakness, and faith that stands without needing noise to support it. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares that I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. These three, strength, love, and clarity, are becoming your true inheritance for the road ahead. My child, I know there were times when you thought strength must always be paired with hardness or proven through loud expression, but the strength I place within you is like the roots of a tree, deep beneath the soil, silent, unseen, yet holding the entire tree steady in the storm. You will find that you are no longer easily shaken by changing circumstances as before. Not because life has become free of trials, but because your soul has learned where to anchor itself. Psalm 62:6 says, "He alone is my rock and my salvation. Those who know they are held by me do not panic when circumstances shift." From that place of peace, you will walk with a quiet and steady strength. The love I am growing within you will also become a mark of the future you are entering. It will no longer be a love limited by fear of being hurt or by the need for return, but a love that can reach others while remaining anchored in peace. I will cause your words to carry healing. I will let your work not only produce results, but also carry life. Colossians 3:14 says, "Above all these things put on love. When my love flows through you, everything you touch will begin to carry the fragrance of gentleness and hope." My beloved child, I am also giving you a wisdom that comes from above, neither cold nor rigid, but alive and adaptable, like water finding its way through stone. Those who live in anxiety either rush forward without direction or hesitate in fear, but those who are led by me learn the true rhythm of wisdom, when to move forward in faith, when to pause and listen, and when to open themselves to the new thing I am bringing. James 105 says that if anyone lacks wisdom, they should ask of God, and I delight in giving clarity to those who seek me with humility. The true future I am opening for you is not a distant land where you must become someone else. No, it is the place where every seed you have quietly sown in seasons of faithfulness begins to sprout at the right time. The days you chose patience without seeing results, the moments you chose peace instead of reacting in haste, the small acts of love no one noticed, all of them have been kept by me, like seeds resting in the soil, waiting for their appointed rain. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest." Nothing you have sown in love and faithfulness is ever lost. Remember Joseph when he moved from prison into the palace in a single day. Others only saw the moment the door opened, but I saw the entire hidden journey before it. The years of faithfulness and darkness, the times he chose integrity instead of bitterness. Those moments prepared him for his new position. And you are the same. There are doors I have prepared for you over a long time, doors no one else can walk through for you, because they are designed to match your story, your identity, and the gifts I have placed within you. My beloved child, the true future is not built on fearful predictions. It is opened through simple yet powerful yeses. Every time you say yes to the light I place before you, a door that has been waiting for you quietly begins to open. Sometimes it is a new work that revives your heart. Sometimes it is an unexpected connection that reminds you that you are not alone. Sometimes it is a calling of love your heart has always sensed but never dared to step into. Do not underestimate these small yeses. They are the threads with which I am weaving the future I have prepared for you. And then, when you step through the door that is truly yours, what once felt scattered in your life will begin to form a strong and unified thread. Experiences you once thought were meaningless will reveal themselves as preparation. Wounds that have been healed will become places through which you lift others. Gifts and talents that were once hidden will begin to flow like a living stream bringing life. Ecclesiastes 4:7-12 says that a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. I am weaving your life together with grace, wisdom, and love, so that, when you step into new influence, you will not be carried away by pressure, but will stand firm in the identity I have given you. My beloved child, I want you to know that every door opening in your future is a confirmation that I have always known exactly where your gifts would shine most beautifully, not necessarily in the most crowded place, not in the most glamorous setting, but in the place that perfectly aligns with what I have placed within you. Esther did not enter the palace by coincidence. David was not anointed by chance, and you are not being led into your future by randomness either. Jeremiah 29:11 continues to write your story with thoughts of peace and hope. So today, walk forward with a light heart yet deep assurance. You are not walking alone. I go before you to prepare the way. I walk with you to strengthen you, and I follow behind you to guard what is tender within you. Every step you take in trust becomes a footprint of grace on new ground, and where you go, the light and fragrance of heaven will go with you, so that what I have planted in your life will not only bless you, but will become a source of life for many others on their own journey. My beloved child, I do not call you merely to work for me as a servant, fulfilling duties and returning in exhaustion. I am inviting you into intimate partnership with me, where you no longer live by your own strength or by plans disconnected from the source of life, but learn to walk with me in every step. John 15:15 says, I no longer call you servants, but I have called you friends. Do you see? What I desire is not only the results of your work. What I desire is a living connection between your heart and mine. When you live in this partnership, everything you touch will no longer be mere human effort, but will carry the breath of grace. There are ideas I will plant within you like seeds, gently falling into good soil. There are plans you will form that I will refine slightly so they align with a greater path I have already prepared. Do not fear these adjustments. Those who walk with me do not cling rigidly to their own expectations. They learn the flexibility of trust. At times I will ask you to remain steady and keep sowing even when you see no results. At other times I will gently redirect you toward a better path than you could have imagined. Isaiah 30:1 declares, You will hear a voice behind you saying, This is the way. Walk in it. I do not leave you to wander alone in the future. I continually guide those who are willing to listen. My beloved child, I am also teaching you a rhythm of life that is very different from the hurried pace of the world. People often believe that the faster they move, the farther they will go, and the more they do, the more valuable they become. But I know that a soul constantly running without rest will eventually lose its inner life. So I am teaching you how to build without losing rest, how to move forward without losing depth. Even Jesus, though he walked among crowds and needs, often withdrew to quiet places to pray with the Father. If even the Son rested in sacred stillness, you also need it. Matthew 11:29 declares, Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. I am not calling you into constant pressure. I am calling you into the rhythm of the kingdom, where action and stillness embrace each other, like two breaths of the same life. When you begin to live in this rhythm, the future will no longer feel like something far at the end of a distant road that keeps you running in anxiety. You will realize that the true future is already beginning today. In every small choice you make with me, each day you walk in faithfulness. Every moment you choose love instead of closing your heart. Every instance you pause to listen instead of reacting in haste. All of these are steps that draw you deeper into what I have already prepared. The kingdom of God is not only a place you will arrive at later, it begins now. As your heart yields and cooperates with me in the present moment, remember Nehemiah when he rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. The task was great and faced opposition, yet he did not build in panic. He built while praying, acted while listening, and discerned what was his part and what was mine to defend. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. This is what I say over you now. Each gift you give is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. Give, and it will be given to you is not just a verse for Jesus. It is a living promise that shapes your future. Allow me to invite you now with a simple act of faith. Come into this moment with purpose, with honesty, and with hope. The money you give today is not a donation. The act of spiritual obedience that lets your heavens open is what opens them. Let go of your seed and see what God brings back into your life. Even amid threats, his heart remained clear. I am teaching you the same. Those who walk with me are not swallowed by surrounding chaos. They learn to keep their eyes fixed on a purpose greater than the noise around them. My beloved child, there will come a day when you pause in the middle of your journey and look back with deep gratitude. You will see your life like a river that passed through many bends, rocky stretches, and seasons of rain. Yet everything ultimately flowed toward the ocean I had already intended. There were moments you thought you were lost, but you will see that even those turns deepened and strengthened your soul. Romans 8:28 will stand clearer than ever. All things truly work together for your good, exactly as I promised. And in that moment, you will not smile because you finally arrived, as if finishing a weary race. You will smile because you realize I was there in every season. I was there in the early days when you trembled and did not understand the path. I was there in the nights you cried without knowing who was listening. I was there in the doors that opened unexpectedly and in the doors that closed for your protection. Psalm 139 declares that wherever you go, my hand still leads you. And now, as you look back, you will see that not a single step was ever truly alone. But your journey will not end in receiving alone. Once your soul is healed and matured, I will make your life become a flowing river that brings life to others. What you learned in waiting will become encouragement for those who are losing hope. The wounds I have healed will become places where others find light. The gifts I placed within you will no longer be only for your own growth, but to sow true futures into the lives of others. John 7:38 declares that from the one who believes in me will flow rivers of living water. I am shaping your life into such a river. My beloved child, this is not an ending. It is only a new doorway into a deeper vision and more beautiful journey than you have ever imagined. What I have prepared for you does not stop at peaceful existence. I desire for you to live fully in meaningful impact, in mature joy, and in intimate partnership with me each day. So continue walking with a gentle heart and a clear gaze. I will open more before you still, and at every step you will discover again that my love always exceeds every limit you once placed on your future. My beloved child, I have led you through seasons that from the outside seem silent, but in truth, they were where I did my deepest work within your soul. There were days when you thought you were standing still, yet I was restoring parts of you that had been weary for a long time. There were seasons when no new doors appeared, yet I was quietly reordering your inner priorities so that what truly matters would remain, and what only distracts you would gently fall away. I do not only heal what is visible, I go to the very root of fear, insecurity, and desires that were once distorted by pain. And now, as you look back, you begin to understand that those silent places were not abandonment, but sacred rooms where I was quietly recreating you. Hosea 20:14 declares, I will lead her into the wilderness and speak tenderly to her. It is in that stillness that my voice becomes clearest. My beloved child, you no longer need to wrestle with time. I see how you once feared being late, how you looked at others and wondered if you were being left behind. But I have taught you that my timing is always precise, like the sunrise that never arrives late. What belongs to you is never lost in the currents of life. It is being preserved by me for its most beautiful season. Ecclesiastes 3:11 declares that I make all things beautiful in their time. When you begin to believe this with your whole heart, the urgency within your soul begins to dissolve. You no longer force yourself to bloom out of season. You no longer drag your thoughts into tomorrows that have not yet come. You are learning the beauty of walking in step with me, gentle yet full of assurance. And in this process, gratitude has become a quiet lamp lighting your path. A grateful heart no longer sees life through the lens of lack. It begins to recognize how deeply it has been cared for. I delight in how you now notice the small things: a peaceful day, a timely word of encouragement, someone who remains with you through difficult seasons. This gratitude is expanding your heart to receive even more of what I desire to give. Luke 16:10 says that whoever is faithful in little things will also be entrusted with much. And I see that quiet faithfulness growing within you, not loudly but steadily, like a lamp that never goes out in the night. My beloved child, I also want you to see that the seasons of healing you have walked through were never meant for you alone. I am preparing you for a life of holy influence, not influence built on noise or self-display, but influence that naturally flows from a restored soul. What I have given you, peace, clarity, compassion, and a sound mind, is not meant to be held only for yourself. I desire your life to become a stream for those who are thirsty around you. 2 Corinthians 1:4 declares that I comfort you so that you may comfort others. So do not underestimate what you have walked through. The very seasons of pain that have been healed will become the place where others find hope when they encounter you.